Hello flight simmers, hello friends and followers, welcome back to the TJ Pilot channel and welcome back to P3D once again. We are back in the beautiful PMDG, Queen of the Skies, the 747, but a special one. Today we are flying the 747-400 converted freighter, so the BCF, which is Boeing converted freighter. And there's quite a number of those airplanes around in the skies. I'm just not sure if we ever had one of those on the channels, and I find them to be very cool because I kind of fancy the sort of the longer over, like the longer top deck, which the passenger version of the plane has compared to the freighter version. And also these planes tend to be very old, and for me somehow it's kind of cool to fly something very old, and I think it's quite fun to do it today. So we are flying Kalitta Air, which is actually quite popular among the cargo haulers out there. They have quite a number of aircrafts in operation, and one of them being this one, November 744 Charlie Kilo. And I will give you a little bit of background on this specific airframe. So this aircraft is 31 years old. It first flew in May of 1993. It was originally delivered to Japan Airlines back in 1993. If you care to see some pictures how it looked back then, I will just pull it up right now. I think that's kind of cool, even sporting. I think it was the World Cup back in Japan these days, so sporting a special livery here. Very cool to think that this plane has been around for so long. And then it has been converted to a freighter in, well, actually somewhere between 2009 and 2010, and then end of 2010 it was delivered to Kalitta Air, and since then it's been operating as a freighter. Right, so that's on the airframe. Now let's talk about today's flight. We are heading down to Singapore, a route which this specific airframe actually did a couple of times last time, so on the 31st of May, which is the date of our simulation today. And I will, let's start with the sim brief. So this setup here is going to take a while. If you want to skip ahead, feel free to do so, but there's a bunch of stuff we want to cover here. So we're heading to Singapore. Flight time 12 hours 46 minutes, so that's a fairly long flight. We are not carrying a shitload of cargo, to be honest. I think typically out towards Asia, cargo planes tend to fly rather empty, and then on the way back they typically carry more cargo. So this airplane flew down to Singapore, then from Singapore back to Bahrain, then back to Leipzig. So I figure it was rather hauling cargo on the way back, but we have a little bit of cargo in here. Now, since this is actually a passenger aircraft according to GSX and SimBrief as well, I kind of had to cheat, so I did put in some fictitious 300 passengers, which sounds a lot for a passenger version, but for the freighter really it's a payload of 69,000 pounds, so it's not crazy. I think it's just a payload of around 40%. But still, we are rather heavy. Fuel tanks almost fully full, and you can see takeoff weight therefore 814,000 pounds. So we are fairly heavy on this departure. Also, partly owed to the fact that I've added a 30 minutes of extra fuel, and that's due to the weather expected at our destination. So if we scroll down to the weather section, we will eventually find wow, that's really a lot of scrolling. So as you can see here in Leipzig, it's quite okay, just cloudy, nothing strange going on here at all. It's just wind 8 knots to 10, a few clouds, 14 degrees. We are departing in the morning, by the way, and will be late, or very early morning, but still nighttime arrival into Leipzig, into Singapore later on. And we have weather at Singapore. So we are arriving there on the actually on the 1st of June, and you can see on the 1st of or actually on the evening of the 31st, there's thunderstorms and rain. But just to be careful, we don't know. Like, this forecast does not really go very far, to be honest. Well, actually, this is a valid forecast. Okay, but you know, there's always, like down in Singapore, there's always the chance of some thunderstorms. So I've added just like these 30 minutes of extra fuel to be on the safe side of things. All right, so that's covered. Now, switching over to Navigraph. So we are sitting here on stand 487, which is very convenient to look at down here, and we will likely depart runway 26 left, so it's going to be a very short taxi. Beautiful heavy departure, looking forward to that. Then on the Golat departure, which has a fairly early turn, left-hand turn at Desan. Actually, you know what, I'm just checking if this is really the one we need to have. Yeah, okay. So out on heading 262, then a left-hand turn to Golat eventually. And then we will fly across Eastern Europe, across Greece, over the Mediterranean into Egypt. It seems like these US carriers are avoiding some of the airspaces up here. I'm not exactly sure which one, might be Afghanistan. But I'm not super sure, because some other carriers, some European carriers, tend to go sort of up here, then crossing northern India. But the Kalitta ones really take the southerly route over Saudi Arabia, Dubai, then crossing India, eventually into Singapore. So this also makes the route a little bit longer, but it's actually what they fly in real life as well. Right, so that's that, and that was now a very, very lengthy introduction. Sorry for that, but we will just take a quick view around to look at this sea of yellow here. Of course, the big DHL base here in Leipzig, and yeah, I'm really looking forward to that departure. Hope you guys are as well, and I would say let's kick things off in the flight deck. Right, so here we are in the flight deck, starting from cold and dark actually, since this aircraft has been sitting overnight. So let's start with the overhead panel. We will switch on the batteries like that. Then we will make sure that the acceleration power 1 and 2 is connected. Those guys are coming to nav. This can stay as it is. Yeah, window heats can come to auto. Then we have, yeah, emergency lights up there, almost forgot. This is okay. And we will put the packs to normal. And nav lights go on like that. Right, FPS coming down a little bit. Not a huge fan of that, but okay. Right, and then, oh, it seems like the IRS selection is non-realistic, since we can align straight away. Yeah, okay, we will take it as it is. Right, so down here I've done the loading before, so that's all set. Yeah, load level of the fuel 95.6%, so almost fully utilized in terms of fuel capacity, which is quite astonishing. So I will quickly do the D-link, and then we can continue with the setup. Right, so then we will continue in here. We will request the flight. There it is. 6,200 nautical miles. Quite a journey today. Right, so that's coming in. Also quite cool, we can now use the Navigraph takeoff calculation for the 747-400, which is very useful, since this aircraft does not have an EFB where we can do the calculation. So that's very much appreciated. We're flying CKS 651. By the way, call sign of this one is Connie. So Kalitta Air uses call sign Connie, which is kind of a cool one, I think. Right. So route is in there. Departure 26 left. Gola to Sierra. Route And for arrival, we will just plan ILS 02 center for now, and then we will plan the, let's see, Liip. Or actually, we can take the Arama. Yeah, coming from Arama. Litva transition, I think it is, but we will double check this later on, of course. Execute. Right, performance in it. Zero fuel weight, 472.5 reserves. Fine reserves and alternate 23.2. Cost index 80 and starting at flight level 310 today. Right, legs page. Let's see. We don't expect a lot of wind today. Let's see, 60,000 pounds. It's quite a lot, but then again, we have this 30 minutes extra, which alone is 12,000 pounds. So yes, it's really a lot. It should get us there quite safely, that's for sure. Out of Leipzig, I think transition 5,000, like that. Yeah, I think that's that really. We can now proceed with. Oh, this comes to hectopascals, altimeter 1007, and now we will do the performance calculation. Let's see. Maybe it makes a lot of sense to pull this up on the screen. Yeah, let's pull it up. Right, so performance and tools. 747-400 out of Leipzig, runway 26 left. Pounds, feet, takeoff weight is gonna be. Let's just copy it over. Let's make things easy. Flap settings, optimum, thrust setting, optimum, bleed setting, auto, anti-ice, auto, wind. Oh, now I need to look up the, since we are on historic weather, I'm just gonna look it up right now. So we have 260 at 8. 260 at 8, temperature of 15 on 1007. Surface condition dry. Flex temperature enabled. Improved climb calculations enabled. Right. Okay. Engine type Rolls-Royce. No. We are sporting. Where can I change that? Okay, so unfortunately that's a little bit unfortunate. I've changed the engine red sort of name, but it doesn't change the calculation. It calculates with the 60,600 pounds of thrust for this engine, but I think there's no way for us telling how much thrust our engines actually have. Which is a little bit frustrating. However, in order to make things easy, we're just going to take the settings and hope it works well. So that's a flap 20 departure, no D-rate, assumed temperature 45, speeds at 155, 167, 177. Okay, let's put it in. Right, so select temperature 45, take off flap 20, try, and that's 155, 167, 177, center of gravity 18, and I think thrust reduction at 1,500. Yeah, I guess we can make it 1,000 even. Yeah, so we have 1,000 feet thrust reduction, 1,500 acceleration. I think that's okay. Right. Fun, fun, fun. Ah, okay, climb 1 was armed, and that's okay for us. So 176 coming in here. 176. We have a heading of 262. And yeah, we can start off by flight level 100. We will dial it up later on. LNAV, VNAV. Right, now continuing with the APU, and then we also need to run some checklists, do we? So pre-flight checklist, oxygen. Yeah, let's call this tested 100%. Flight instruments heading 262, 262. Altimeter is 1007, 1007, and 1007. That's checked. Parking brake is set now, and fuel control switches are cut off. Pre-flight checklist is completed. BORs, let's see, elec page. Can we actually see the APU status somewhere? Yeah, there it is. Right, in the meantime, coming down here, doors, close all. Oh, fuel truck is still there, but we will kick him off in just a second. Right, so APU is running. APU generators 1 and 2. Oh, I forgot the standby power needs to come to auto, of course. So we are on APU power. APU bleed is on as well, so we will come down here and remove the wheel chocks. This is coming to TA. We will reset the position, and this will get rid of the fuel truck as well. And then we can ask for pushback. Right. So this comes to auxiliary for pushback. Then we switch on the fuel pumps. Certainly all of them today. This is okay. Beacons coming to both. And we will run the before start checklist. Flight deck doors closed and locked. Passenger signs. Yeah, we are hauling cargo today. No passengers, but let's switch them to on nevertheless. No smoking as well. MCP is set at V2 176, heading 262, altitude 10,000, takeoff speeds 155, 167, 176. CDU pre-flight is completed. Trim. It's not set, needs to be 7.6. But we can't set this yet, right? Yeah, we need to wait for hydraulics. Taxi and takeoff briefing completed, and beacons are on both, and then we just need to remember to set trim. Okay, let's see. Packs 1, 2 and 3 are coming off. Continuous ignition, auto start both. And let's see, we will start with number 3 and 4 today. Engine page, and 2 is running up. Oh man, I forgot at which percentage, but I think at 20% roundabout. Okay, let's switch them on. Park brake are set and starting 1 and 2.
Tow truck disconnected. Bypass pin removed.
20%. Fuel is coming in.
Left is clear. Right is clear.
Yeah, oil quantity should decrease since the oil is spread around the engine. Oil temperature should increase, oil pressure as well. Starter cutout. And now EGT should come back a little bit. Right, looks about good to me. Hydraulics, APU off, continuous ignition stays on for the departure, packs back to normal. We will make sure that auto brake RTO is set. We have a flap 20 departure. Now we can set the trim to 7.6. Should be around there, and we will do a flight control check. Full left, full right, elevator full up, full down, rudder full left and full right. Sweet. Right, taxi and turn off lights. And as we have discussed in the beginning, that's going to be very short taxi only. Parking brake off, and let's go. Right, so there we are, runway 26 left coming up. Transponder TARA. No, actually, inbounds are enough. Landing lights on, strobes on, lights are set. I mean, we haven't calculated for it, but I think it makes a whole lot of sense to maybe kill 2 packs here. It's not very hot outside, we don't have passengers. It's a cargo plane, so I think that makes more sense to take some strain off the engines. And let's see, weather is coming on, traffic is on. Wow, I'm looking forward to that. Oh man, we are behind on the checklists. Holy cow! I completely skipped the before taxi checklists, but that we should have all set. Let's double check recall. Recall should be checked, and before takeoff flaps 20, before takeoff checklist completed. So yeah, auto brake RTO packs 2 and 3 off, continuous ignition, passenger sensor on, that's okay. Right, let's take block time or flight time over there. And let's go flying. Oh boy, that's gonna be fun. I am looking... Wait, there's one thing I'm just seeing. I hate that it's so dark in here. Yeah, I definitely want to fix that. Just for the looks of it. Right! Now we are ready to go. So power's coming up. Where's it? There. Takeoff. Yeah, look at this. Haha, 101% N1. Takeoff thruster set. Past 80 knots. So luckily we can expect no failures today. That would be a crazy rejected takeoff in case we get any, but we are not. Disregard. Checked. And rotate. Let's go flying. Looking at 10 degrees. We are airborne. And the gear's coming up. Oh, that's cool. Alright, climb thruster set. Let's accelerate. Gears coming off. Ooh, it's a little bumpy. Yeah, so that was cool. First of all, there were some nice wing condensation effects visible there, also in the engine inlet. Very cool stuff. And then on the left-hand side, I just saw on the exterior view, there's the Antonov 225 modeled on this airfield, which unfortunately is the big one which no longer exists. Okay, flip 10. But yeah, feels like takeoff calculations have turned out to be very, very good. Even though we had the wrong engine type. Flips 5. Yeah, we will exceed 250 knots on the climb out, but that's fine. We don't have any constraints. Flaps 1. Yeah, we are heavily barely climbing right now. We can climb or accelerate, but we can't do both things at once today. Right, and flaps up. There we go. Now let's do some manual flying throughout this turn. I think this will be fun. Unfortunately, can't see much from the ground. Yeah, nice. Really, really cool. Oh gosh, I wish there would be a 747-400 in Microsoft Flight Sim. That would just be so cool. Alright, command. No, that's not what I want. Command left, there we go. Altimeter standard. After takeoff checklist, landing gear is up and off and flaps are up. After takeoff checklist is completed, we can surely put the packs 2 and 3 back to normal. Continuous ignition is coming off. Heading through some clouds, but nothing crazy, just fluffy stuff really. And so I would say we are on our way to Singapore. Very, very cool and heavy departure. Hope you guys enjoyed that, and then I am very much looking forward to a nice nighttime landing into Singapore. Catch you later, guys. Yo, welcome back everyone. After 12 hours and 33 minutes into the air, we are now descending towards Singapore, and yeah, just about to descend through 12,000 feet, slowing down to 223 knots right now, because on this waypoint in Bobak we have a speed conference of 220, but yeah, we want to stay on clean flap speed, so that's why we are going a touch slower. Yeah, so let's maybe start with looking at the weather at our destination airport. We have winds 7 knots from 120, very winds. Yeah, some clouds, towering clouds, even 31 degrees, very humid, very warm, and altimeter is 1007 down there. So I would say favorable conditions, nothing crazy, nothing we cannot manage. So let's have a look at our procedures. We're flying today. Oops, that was a bad click. Let's try again. Right, so we are flying the Arama 1 Alpha, so Bobak we just passed, heading into Bokip Samco, and I guess even slightly before Samco we can actually intercept the localizer for 02 center. And then it's going to be a very normal standard ILS approach into Singapore. In case of go around, straight ahead, climbing to 3000. And then, yeah, so down here we can actually go as far as we want, because we want to park it up at the East Cargo Apron, which is just here. So vacating maybe on Tango 4, it's only going to be a very short taxi left, which is convenient for us. Right, so that's that. We're below 10,000. Let's switch on. Oh, they're on already. Never mind. Oh yeah, I actually done this before. Just forgot. So that is set. I have today applied the sim brief landing calculations as well, and it actually hints towards a flap 25 landing. Together with auto brake 1 even. I'm a bit unsure. I've selected 2 because flap 25 and auto brake 1 is basically nothing. So just to be a bit more careful, I've selected auto brake 2. But yeah, that's kind of cool, because otherwise, or not having done the calculation, I would normally go for an auto brake 3 with a flap 30 on the 747. But yeah, apparently that's what we can do. However, I'm not quite sure if it's fully functional, because it gave me the exact same landing data regardless of a wet or dry runway, and I don't think that's entirely correct. So yeah, I think that still needs a little bit of tweaking on their end. And yeah, also flying into Singapore is crazy on performance, especially CPU performance for my system for whatever reason. So I've actually decided to go in there without any traffic. So it's gonna lack a little bit of that extra immersion, but for the sake of some decent FPS, I think it's quite important for us to not have traffic down there. Otherwise it's gonna be a slideshow coming into Singapore. Okay, so we are closing in on the localizer, and let's actually go flap 1 because we are spot on the glide slope. So I do need to get a little bit more drag out there. Yeah, let's go localizer since we have the ILS identified. The ICE ILS. It's pretty cool. Let's see, this one comes to ARM. And there goes the FPS. It's really weird. I have never really figured out why it's so incredibly poor going into Singapore, but yeah. It's just what it is really. Okay, localizer captured. Approach. Let's make sure to capture the glide as well. We're very close to it. Let's go flap 5. Yeah, probably overshooting that turn just a little bit. Come on, we're so close. Ah, there it is. Glide slope. Perfect. Alright, that's around 10 miles from the airport, so let's go flap 10. Losing some more speed so we can go nice and slow. Yeah, and that's Singapore there to the left hand side. Bit of downtown scenery coming together with the airport scenery, although it still looks very P3D-ish. Far from Microsoft Flight Sim, but hey, it is what it is. Okay, 2200. Let's go gear down, flap 20. Then I think final approach speed is 147 plus 5, so it's 152. So that's set. Flap 25. Landing checklist. Speed brake is armed. Landing gear is down. And flaps are 25. Landing checklist is completed. Okay, let's see. Let's do some hand flying here. There we go. Look at that, frames coming below 30 now, and I fear it's gonna drop even a little bit more once we get a bit closer. Really annoying, and it would be like even 5 to 10 frames less with a lot of AI traffic on the airfield. Right, so it's not a lot of wind, but it's coming straight from the right hand side, so I think we will need to decrypt just a little bit. Hold on. There we go. I just noticed that dynamic lighting was disabled, but we can actually enable it. The GPU can handle it, it's just my CPU that's struggling.
Approaching minimums.
A little bit low. Continue.
100.
Back on profile.
60, 50, 40, 30, 20, 10, 5.
And there we are. Okay, reverse. Reverse screen. There we go. Decel. Yeah, a little bit of a firm touchdown, but I think it was okay-ish. Alright, cool. And manual braking idle forward. Alright, I guess we could have taken this one, but you know what? There's no traffic around, so let's go even further.
4,000 feet remaining.
Right, quickly checking. Oh, firmer than I thought actually. Landing rate 385 feet per minute. That was quite hard.
Feet remaining.
Quite hard after all. Didn't feel that bad, but okay. Volanta's probably right. Okay, let's do a bit of a cleanup. Let's see, 12 hours, 45. Like that, and lights, wing and strobe lights coming off. Okay, and since it's gonna be a short taxi, we can actually fire up the APU. Okay, so now we are on taxiway Tango, and towards the end of Tango we take a left on Papa and then a right on November, and this will eventually get us to the East Cargo Apron, where we will pick stand 600 or 601 or something like that. Northeast, I don't know, parking. Yeah, that looks good. 601, okay. Okay, cool. Okay, stand 601 coming up. Final turn of the day. And looks like we have no marshal around here. See 747 all the way towards the end there. And there we are. Parking brake, APU, gens 1 and 2. And let's shut down. Right, hydraulics coming off, fuel pumps coming off, beacons, so we have logo and nav lights on, lights are off, APU is running. I've actually closed the checklist now, but it's okay, I don't think we need a shutdown checklist. Okay, that's set. Ground power and request stairs, please. External power 1 and 2. Right, so here we are, folks. Welcome to Singapore once again, and thank you so much for joining me on this 747 heavy long haul ops today. I enjoyed it quite a lot, and it's always great to be back in the 747-400, especially the 400. For I don't know, I actually enjoy it more than the Dash 8. Hard to say why, but yeah, that's what it is, and I don't see any 747-400 coming to Microsoft Flight Simulator anytime soon. Although that's really a pity. It would be great to have it over there, but as long as we don't have it, we will continue flying it in P3D. And yeah, hope you guys have enjoyed it. I certainly did, and I will see you in the next video. Take care, everyone, and bye bye.